Hello, my name is Steve Sutherland. Thank you for joining me. I would like to thank Rare for inviting me to their Earth Day celebrations. Today, we're going to be reading a new book called Mugwumps. It's written by Steve Sutherland, that's me, and illustrated by Cassidy Snow. What do you say we get started? This is a story about the rarest flower in the world, the yellow and purple lady slipper. It can only be found in one place, and that is in the north of England. There's a special place next to a very old golf course, known only to a few people. A small group of people work there, and they're called the keepers of the lady slipper. They care for all the lady slipper plants. The keepers of the lady slipper have three jobs. One is to keep the location a secret. The second job only happens once a year. When the lady slippers are fully grown, they carefully dig them from the ground and place them in gold pots. Then they transport them to special places around England where they're displayed for people to see. The only person to ever have her own lady slipper is the Queen. The third job of the keepers is to protect the mugwumps. What's a mugwump, you ask? A mugwump is a very special creature whose only job is to make sure the rare and beautiful lady slipper grows each year. Mugwumps, too, are found in the secret place where the lady slipper grows. If you ever stumble upon the secret place and stand looking down between the rows of lady slippers, you would likely still not see a mugwump. You see, their skin is brown like the dirt, and their clothes are dark green of the lady slipper leaves. Not only that, but they have learned to stand very, very still for long periods of time. So unless they have to scratch an itch or blow their nose, you will never know they're there. And one other thing, mugwumps only come out at night. By day, they live in an underground cave beside the lady slipper garden. It's dark and cool and wet, just like mugwumps like. Every mugwump family has a house made of small stones cemented together with mud from the garden. Each house is located next to a crop of mushrooms that grow big in the cool, dark, wet cave, which makes it really easy for mugwumps because their favorite thing to eat are mushrooms. Breakfast, lunch, supper, snacks, mushrooms. All they have to do when they're hungry is go to their mushrooms and cut off a piece with their stone axe. Then they bring it inside to feast on boiled, fried, or barbecued mushrooms. They eat until they can eat no more. And if there's anything left on their stone plates, which doesn't happen very often, then they tell their favorite joke. I guess I didn't have as much room as I thought. And they laugh so hard that it makes their big, hairy bellies jiggle. But for all the fun mugwumps have, they take their job of growing and caring for lady slippers very seriously. They get out of bed every night when the moon comes out. After washing their faces, eating their breakfast, they gather their tools and head out for the night's work. Each mugwump leaves their home in exactly the same time and forms a long line from the first house near the mouth of the cave to the last house deep inside. They line up in families, shortest to tallest, and head out one family at a time, the moonlight glinting off the tips of their sharp stone axes. As they reach the field, they break off into shorter lines, one for each row of lady slipper plants. Each mugwump is responsible for their own plant. Little mugwumps work with mom or dad on their plant until they're old enough to have their own. Every spring, when the air starts to get warm at night and the ground is soft enough, each mugwump plants a lady slipper seed. They begin by using the axe to make a hole in the garden. This can sometimes take most of the night. When the hole is deep enough, they take the seed they have carried out with them and roll it into the hole. Then they push the dirt from their digging back into the hole on top of the seed. The hole must be made just the right depth so the birds cannot get it. Lady slipper seeds are a very special snack to birds. Each night after, they march into the moonlight to their plant. Throughout the growing season, they pull weeds, tend the soil. When the first shoots push their way through the ground, they water and care for their plant. There is only one flower on each shoot. That's why any keeper will tell you there is one flower for every mugwump and one mugwump for every flower. When the flower gets as big as a lady's slipper, it's time for the keepers to carefully dig them up and put them into their gold pots. They do this in the daytime to make sure they don't accidentally take a mugwump on a long trip. As hard as it is for mugwumps to try and make sure every plant keeps its flower, sometimes they blow away or accidentally get stepped on by a keeper. But that's okay, because the mugwumps use those plants to make things for their home. On the first night after the keepers leave, they march to the garden and take what they need from the plants left behind. Before the long winter nap, the mugwumps pull off long shoot strings and use them to weave mugwump pants and shirts. They slice up the big leaves to make coverings for their floors and the very small ones to make blankets. And if they're lucky enough to find a petal that is not blown away, they will boil it to make a tasty lady slipper soup. Then as the nights turn cold with their bellies full of soup and mushrooms, each mugwump crawls into bed and starts a long winter nap. The end. And that's the story of the mugwumps. As you can see, it does not matter how little you are, you can always do something to do for our earth. Just like the mugwumps make use of all the parts of the lady slipper flower, we can think about what we are throwing away. Maybe it should be recycled, or maybe it can be used to make something new. The mugwumps make clothes and floor coverings from blown over lady slipper flowers. What can you make? Mom and Dad, I'd like to invite you to our website, mugwumps.ca, where you can download the coloring sheets for mugwumps. Our illustrator, Cassidy, has made some brand new ones for Earth Day. And after your kids have colored or painted them, you can scan them or take a picture of them and email them to us. And we have some prizes that we're going to be drawing for. That's mugwumps.ca, mugwumps.ca. And to order a copy of the book, we have a special offer for you. Until the end of April, we're offering the book at a special Earth Day price. And we're very happy to say that $5 from each book sold will be donated to RARE. RARE has told me that the money will be going to their Turn the Map Green fundraiser. Every $2 raised protects 1 square meter of habitat. So this fundraiser will directly help protect environmental sensitive land and habitats. Again, for the coloring sheets and to order the book, go to mugwumps.ca. I hope you've enjoyed this story. I certainly have enjoyed telling it to you. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.